Hey everyone, welcome to my show. Be sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch for all my exclusive content. Hello again, Fleet Commanders. Tiberius here with a quick update video for you. It's been a little while since I've done much on my free-to-play account. I thought maybe that'd be a good time to give you a quick update of where we're at. Pardon me. We're thanks celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday weekend here. And this little thing right here cooking is up 61. I could have gone up a little sooner on this account. I intentionally held back. I wouldn't say I camped because it wasn't like I was trying to avoid like moving up and catch up on progress and certain things. It was really just more of I didn't want to have two G6 accounts. I wanted to let my main account get a little further ahead so I could still keep an eye on like the G5 economy and have a G5 and a G6 so I could better understand the majority of where all the players were at and kind of go from there. But as my main account is getting closer, probably February, March, I'll be 70 and ready to progress, hopefully, towards 71 and moving into G7. I thought, you know what, maybe I don't want to just have this account sitting here just sort of stagnant for a couple of months. If there's still things I could work on, I've caught up on most of my buildings. Obviously, research is always going to be an ongoing struggle. But what really was the deciding factor was the specialty ships. My Revenant has been capped for a little while now. I can't take it up any further until I move to 61 because I can't source the epic material until 61. But I also just hit the same lock point with my GS31 here now at tier 9 when I'm trying to do tier 10 components. We're requiring Sigma materials. And obviously, yes, this is going to require a G6 specific component to finish up the whole tier. But even if I wanted to just keep moving up some of these other things, this is Sigma, and this is not cheap. If I wanted to convert it, that's 15 million Latinum to do one component. Like on a free-to-play account, that's an incredible amount. And they're trying to do this with multiple components over here. And then when you start looking around at the other specialty ships, the Relativity, also hitting that same lock point where now I'm using 6-star materials and Sigma and in larger quantities. Sig that one, the Relativity, the Revenant. I think my Eviscerator is also capped here at tier 12. I don't think I can do. I think this is also G6. This is also G6. So all of these specialty ships were kind of just stuck. And I didn't want them to fall too far behind. So I'm about to hit the button and we're going to move this account up to op 61. Just for me, this is going to be a slightly different approach too as well. Something else I wanted to touch on real quick. Because previously, I took the more conventional path. We didn't have all these specialty ships a year ago when I took my main account to 61. I moved that up in January of 2025. Or at the beginning of this year. We didn't, all these specialty ships are basically new this year. We got the GS31 in, I think, February. We had the Relativity and the Revenant from carryover from last year, but we're still just sort of grasping their power, what they could do. Actually, I think the Relativity was the beginning of the year because it was Year of Hell. Anywho, I digress. So what it really came down to is just being able to make that continued progress. Certainly got here a lot faster this time around than I did on my main account because they've accelerated growth through some of the lower levels and you have more of these efficiencies and you have more of these resource generation from these extra refineries and loops and things. So I've certainly moved up a lot faster and I know other players have gotten here even quicker. This account was started 2 years after my main account and I'm effectively now only 10 months behind. So I've made up 14 months worth of progress already. And again, like I said, I probably could have been here 2 or 3 months sooner, but I didn't want to, move too fast. Or just the extra time commitment was really more of the issue in my mind. But we are going to move up now. We are going to take a fresh approach because on my main account, if you'll recall, from when I did it in the beginning of the year, my strategy was to focus on using the cube as my everyday kind of ship. So I built a Minerva at 63 and I took it all the way to tier 9 so I could tier up the cube, get that from being like a 2 billion power ship to like a 7 billion power ship, somewhere in that range. And then I could use it for my daily grinding. I could, jump out to places with the transwarp drive and just kind of breeze through some content, especially with the longer warp times, getting to some of those further G6 systems. Then I moved up to 66 and I got the Velox and I took that to tier 9 as well. So then I could take the cube up to like 15 billion power and tier that up again and keep using the cube as just my primary everyday PvE ship. But this year, new strategies have developed. The GS31 has become such an amazing ship for grinding because it has not only a good warp range, but the beam effect that it can do. You know, when you start taking it from tier 9, 200 million, okay, not a lot, it holds its own there. But when you start getting into these G6 tiers, and you can start beaming stuff for 4 billion, 8 billion hull damage, multiple targets, this thing makes your grinding that much easier. You just take it into a system and you zap 5 or 6, 4 or 5 targets, and ooh, they're hostile, dailies done. Wait 3 minutes for the beam or to recharge and zap a whole bunch more. It also gets good research that gives it additional hazard resistance. See, it starts off with no base hazard resistance here, but if we go into our research queue, we can see that eventually when I get out there, the old GS31 somewhere. Vindicator, all relativity, all the way out here at the end, we get hazard proof, where it starts at 100 and it can scale all the way up to 500% as you progress, which is the highest hazards in G5, G6 space are 500% hazards. So it can get all the way out there and not have to deal with all of that damage and stuff. And then if you can shoot multiple extra targets and get all this stuff done, you can really make the GS31 do all the work for you, and it'll just cut down on your time commitment. And that was my primary focus for holding this account back, was not wanting to have to invest more time in playing two G6 accounts, which have higher ops grinds, especially during the summer when we were looking at Transigen and some of those other augments was a lot of grinding. Transigen was a lot of grinding. The aggregation hostiles were a lot of grinding. And it was like, look, I need to be able to just punch up, finish some events faster on this account to keep it moving along. And then I can take my time on my main account and do all the grinding and kill all the extra hostiles that are required. They were really punishing people for moving up because the level and ops requirements weren't quite balanced out. They've kind of reversed that strategy the last couple of months here now and realized where they made their mistakes. And now, as we're starting new arcs, that's hopefully going to be a better trend moving forward into 2026. So let's go ahead and just click this button. And let's just take this account. We've got a whole bunch of these extra speed ups here. And now I pulled all my refineries and everything. But now we're just going to go ahead and move on up to ops 61. I can build a Selkie already. I have all the blueprints for it. That's done. Dun 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 dun. There's a cool little mini video graphic. That's a bad Cisco. Well, from the side he looks fine, but when you look at him head on, not so much. I forgot all about this, to be honest. I'm sure there's probably some dialogue and audio and stuff going along with it, but I think I have all those turned off because who wants to listen to that stuff all day? Yeah, when you look at him head on, that doesn't look like Cisco. There you go. Welcome to G6. You've got new ships. You've got the whole new Sigma resources. There's all the hazards and the details that go along with that. We complete that mission. Now we can start getting our Sigma materials. Can't quite do this stuff yet. Now we can flip over, though, some of these buildings. These are all using, actually, what I want to do first. Let's be smart about this. Let's use the exocomp for station, build speed. Yeah, oh, no, that's research speed. Damn it. Clicked it too fast. Build speed. What else do I have? I think I only have some smaller ones, but we'll take every little bit we can get here. Yeah, there's another 25%, sure. I cut 2 days down. I want to start switching all this stuff over because now I'm starting to do work with Sigma materials here. Also felt it was a good time because, well, we got a free gift chest, and while I still had one of these, I thought I'd wait and at least pull it while I was still getting G6, get some G6 materials out of it. If I had thought about this sooner, I would have saved all of them, of course, but I really didn't think I was going to do it until GS31 parts showed up in this week's event. And it was like, oh, hang on a second. This is actually enough to tier up the ship. And then I realized, oh, yeah, now I'm using Sigma materials. But let's see what else we can get. I'm sure there might be a few artifacts that are going to open up now once I get the gallery up to 61. I don't think any of this stuff would reset. Nothing here. My crucible packs should also... Nope, these didn't change. These are still showing 5-star material rewards. I was hoping maybe these would update as well and would flip over to G6 stuff, but nope. Wonder if I log out and log back in if that'll change. Let's find out. All right, so we logged out, logged back in, and it did indeed switch me over to Sigma materials here. So we are going to go ahead and pull that. So obviously, if you do make a change, that's a good thing to know, that some of these might just take a little minute with bundles and things to catch up. Could also get a little bit of Sigma speed ups here, but that's not really a whole lot. I probably already have more than that from Mirror Universe grinding. So I'm going to take 2 bundles here for the Sigma Tritanium because I want to do ship upgrades. I'm going to need mats for those. None of this stuff changes. None of this stuff changes. Okay. Now I start getting a Sigma gift there. My cons favor, right. Now my assignment booster switches, and now I get Sigma speed ups over here as well because I'm op 61 plus. Because there's been a number of additional things that we've gotten in here. Now we're going to get a whole new heap. That's still grade 5 stuff, but now we're into this. I have to go mine 6-star materials because I don't have any raw materials yet. Wouldn't have changed any of these other conversions. Same thing here with the 6-star ship parts. Now, hazard particles I don't have. 6-star ship parts I do from grinding in the Mirror Universe, though. So we can set these, although they'll probably just give me commons for now. But I do have quite a bunch, as you can see, 22 million. So pulling 120k. Oh, it is giving me a chance at uncommons. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull those. Oh, some 4-star ones were also available. So mostly commons, but a little bit of uncommon and battleship parts. But the big things that did change that I obviously wanted to... I do have the option to start getting 6-star stuff from the outposts as well now. This stuff hasn't changed. Any of these new refineries. Transigen did, though. My Transigen refineries would have changed. The amounts, at least over here now, we're going to be using 6-star canisters. I think these are actually just up. I don't think these changed. I think the timer was just up. But hey, as long as we're looking, let's pull them. This stuff, obviously, there's more... Oh, because my building went up. These are now getting the building words. I feel like I just did these the other day, when I was still G5 because I got my building to the right level and I did the research. That was the thing. But now these bundles are offering Sigma materials, so I'm getting to claim them again. That doesn't quite feel right, but shh, don't tell anybody. And we'll pick up some extra artifacts and stuff later. I'll go through that in more detail and figure out exactly where I want to make those pulls from. But this is merely more what I was interested in, because prior to this, not only was I now getting 6-star materials in here in this free reward track. This is my 10 days for tiering it up to Mark III. But prior to being 61, there were no epic parts in this chest. I was still paying the same cost, 6.7 million per box, but I wasn't getting any of the epic materials. So really I was just overpaying for materials that I didn't need anymore because you don't use any of the stuff past tier 10. And I was getting more 5-star materials and stuff. I wasn't even getting the Sigma stuff yet. So going to Mark III before you're ready to go to 61, not something you really want to do unless you like overpaying, in which case, have a blast. But now I can pull this. So now not only am I getting Sigma resources, but I'm also getting the epic parts here so I can keep tiering up the ship. Same thing with my polygon. This is a weekly pull. Let's do a 3 chest. That'll give us a nice big jump on epic parts here. Also get some more Sigma speed ups. Big jump on some epic parts there. Nexus particles to do some research. And we can pull crystal with titanium. Oh, there's no titanium in these. Just the crystal gas and ore. But there's also a chance at 5-star epic. I do still need a little bit of that to finish up my enterprise. It's on tier 11. I think I have like 3 or 4 components left. I'm a popular guy. What can I say? Now I also have these refineries, which are active if I want to go start doing conversions to convert some of this old quadrillion into Sigma par steel, which, yes, I do. And what about here? Yeah, it's a couple trillion of that. Let's make that into some Sigma trit. And same thing here. We can convert some of that into some Sigma dilithium as well. So now we're getting that stuff working. The other thing that should have reset is now I have the option. These boxes all changed because my ops level went up. So we can keep pulling officers again. Now we've got artifacts. Now we've got G6 resources. Do you like the artifact one? I definitely want the Sigma one. The officers are not as... I mean, obviously I'm still working on some of them, but some of them are doing okay. We're maxed out already. I don't want to quite double pull that anymore. We're also now into 6-star ship parts. And I do want to do this to get some of those common ship parts when I do build the Selkie here in a little bit. That will also save me some monies. And we need those. So now we can tier up this particular ship. My NX-01 having the refit, this also changes now, and I start getting Sigma materials. See, there's a lot of little things that change. Some of these extra archive bundles, some of these extra specialty bundles for ship skins and things that you got, they all kick it up a notch. And now that I'm a G6 player, now we're getting guaranteed 6-star survey parts out of here. Common, uncommon, and rare It's definitely going to help with that Selkie progression, so I can get that done even faster. And then there's the warp core component that I needed that we looked at the beginning to take the GS31 even higher. My Monavine, I do have the Monavine skin, but I'd already pulled this today. This did not reset. Maybe I don't have the Monavine skin on this account. I thought I did. Maybe we're short. Maybe we only have 2 out of 3. Or maybe I didn't apply it. Nope, that's that one. Maybe I get it next tournament. Maybe I only have 2 out of 3 claimed so far. Yeah, we only have 2 out of 3 for the Mark II. Once I get this done, I'll start getting additional Sigma materials from the archives for the Monavine. Thought I had that one done too, but I was wrong. It does happen from time to time. And now we got to reload. All right, so we're back. We refreshed all that stuff. It's actually a good thing that I was doing it this way because I just realized also myself, my first instinct was to start upgrading my generators and stuff so I can start getting Sigma materials going out of them. But that might not necessarily be the way to do it because I'm getting Sigma materials from all those other places that I just showed you. So I can probably actually avoid some of that and focus more on the main buildings, of course. That shouldn't have changed. It also just happens to be because of the holiday yesterday. Oh, yep, we are getting Sigma materials in here. So maybe that was a double pull. Okay, maybe that did refresh. My timers are a little off from where I normally claim stuff during the day, so I'm trying to recreate what's different. Bajoran doesn't tier up after tier 5, but Exborg does. This scrap changes. No, there's nothing in there that would have changed there. There are some boxes down below here. The material efficiency one, this one changes because now you're getting 6-star materials. You can pick up some raw 6-star materials. So we're going to triple pull that one because that might actually help me trigger the other refineries. There's the crystal, there's some gas, there's some 6-star ore. So now I don't have to waste time mining it just yet. We can also do here to get some broken 6-star parts, although that's not necessarily. I also picked up some other ship parts there as well. The officer pull. But my artifact one did change. These bundles are now higher. So now I can pull more artifact tokens. Faction exchange I don't want to do. The forbidden tech for being 60 plus. This didn't change. I'm okay there because my Ferengi whip works right on this account. So forbidden tech materials I'm okay with. It's the G6 mega chest that also becomes available now though too, where I'm getting some common G6 materials as well as more dolomite particles, which will help me finish up some of those primes that this account doesn't have yet. All the tiers and stuff done on. A lot of those multi-level primes. Again, being a free-to-play account, that progression was slower. This will get a little bit faster now. Section 31, I believe, has some Sigma bundles as well. All this stuff, right? The artifacts. My rep bundles went up. This morning they were, I think it was like 145, 148 million is what I was getting. Now they're 400 for those mirror bundles. And these are up to 200 million. These are ops based. So obviously a way to pick up extra materials there. Then we also get a couple of newer bundles down here at the bottom. There's a mirror Sigma mega chest, which gives you some guaranteed Sigma materials. And then there's also individual pulls as well, using the old original Section 31 currency. So if there's something specific you just want more of, like titanium, so you can do ships, that would be the place to get it. The arena does also have a Sigma bundle in here as well. It's not as good, and not only does it not give you as good of quantity, I think you know, it requires you to be involved in the arena. 1,200 of this currency for a chance at speed ups, and I don't know if they give the drop rates. They don't. When I used to pull these when arenas first came out, I would get a lot of 15-minute speed ups. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say I get a lot of them. A lot of the time, I would get one 15-minute speed up, and it's like, really? I did how many arenas, and I'm doing this chest claim redeem, and that's what I'm getting? These were not worth pulling. Guaranteed, okay. The cost is a little high for the value compared to all the other places. But if you need materials in a pinch, just keep that as like a emergency in case of, break open glass in case of emergency kind of thing. There's a relativity gift. And my chests did not. Oh, this one. This stuff didn't change. Yeah. My victory chests did, though. This switched over from G5 ships to G6 ships, and because of the tier of my relativity, it's now the G6 rares and epics that I'm working towards. I'll go ahead and start pulling this, and hey, we already have a head start on our Op 70 ship, but also we all got some more faction credits and galactic acclaim, which is always helpful. This just happens to be also due. It's not a specific thing to be leveling up. But I'm going to claim them so I don't forget. And there are additional bundles that do become available now. If you're looking for Sigma speedups, this one is way better. I mean, yes, you get repair speedups, but you also more often than not get higher actual speedups. And there's one for each type of currency, so basically you're getting two of them. So there's an hour and a half. I hate that I always get two repair speedups and one regular one, but it is what it is. And I think that's it for this stuff here. So I think that's it for all the stuff that got updated. I mean, I guess I can come back in here now and we can do a couple of these pulls. We'll just set up with the basic ones for now. Because, well, first off, I only have 60k. And also, we're only getting commons right now at 61. I don't want to overpull this stuff and use up a lot of my raw materials, because it's going to take me a little while to go farm those, starting over in a whole brand new area. Also, since I'm just getting commons, I mean, yes, it's helpful. I'm saving some latinum and stuff, but so that can hold Sigma now, which means now I can get this one working. So now we're going to get some Sigma production. And now a whole 10 an hour. I can save up to 300. Again, probably not worth it, but they're quick. I'm just going to speed through them all as soon as we wrap things up here. But now as ships go, now we can keep making progress. Now we can keep moving this stuff along at a regular pace here and keep these numbers moving up. And that's the path we're going to go on here. We're going to make our best effort. What's the warp range on this thing? 987. Okay. Warp 900 is kind of the goal that you need, because that's what you need to get to those first G6 systems. So usually, your G5 Epic, your Enterprise, or whatever else, whichever one you pick, if you picked a Rotaran or a Tederatix, we'll get there around tier 7, tier 8, somewhere in that range, if I remember correctly. Specialty ships will also get there right around, tier 8, tier 9. And then as you start doing these extra components, which we're going to do this one now, we'll take the extra warp range. Base warp range here now, we're up to, what did I say, 987. And if I were to throw, well, that's with Kirk. If I throw a Grush or somebody on it, I'd be over 1,000. So I could certainly get out there and do some damage. And obviously we're going to keep leveling this up Now we're going to get our R&D building to 61. We're going to get that extra gravitational shot. And then we're going to try and get to tier 10. And we're going to start zapping stuff. And that's going to be our path to move forward. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have any questions about any of this process, feel free to leave them down below. I am one of those people who does read and respond to YouTube comments on their videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you around the galaxy.